Orientation is locked. Uh, mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Okay. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Hello and welcome. I want to believe my mic is working. Oh, am I even audible enough? Isn't that too loud? Do I need to bring that down? I guess not. Sorry, it's my first time. I'm trying to check out. 70 people. 160. There. Thank you very much. I want to confirm if my mic is set. Please, I need a comment to check if my mic is okay and if the sound over here is fine. Uh, where's my glasses. All right. All right, guys. Welcome to the Thinking Space with Imole. My name is Imole Ayo Fakunle Ayomide. Let me give you a quick background on what my channel is all about. It's my first time going live on YouTube, so that's the reason for all these. It looks like I'm not. I'm just trying to get everything right. I don't want to mess it up. So, um, like I said, my name is Imola Yofakunda Yomide. I am a philosopher, a storyteller, a thinker. If there's anything like that, I am a thinker, and I take my time to think. I take my time to always, think, always reason things, and I process thoughts always in my head. And I believe for me that's enough to call myself a thinker and a philosopher. In 2021, I developed a passion for explaining mysteries, explaining things that are not properly, given explanations to in our today's world. People don't pay attention to them. Those things that they they just those things are just there, like things that people don't pay much attention to. People that are somewhere underneath the surface, right? Things that are not commonly talked about, right? I grew interest in them. I want to find out like how things work, how life works, how humanity works, how people work. And that is what has been my passion since the very, very, since it's been 4 years now. So back then, I remember I came up with an organization, like a community, like a small group of people, a small group of thinkers. right? We were all thinkers and we were all passionate about thinking, using our brain, using our thoughts, thought processes to, we like to like put them to work, to put them to work. And so that was what we did. I had about a group of 10, 15 people. We used to like meet every week, to just pick a topic, we discuss, we gather thoughts, and we brainstorm, we rub minds. It was really odd, it was really odd for the kind of place where we were. People, really didn't have the kind of likeness for that. So it kept on going like that. Along the line, I grew a desire for writing. And did I mention that I also write? I'm a writer. Okay, I write. I'm a writer. I'm an educator. I teach math. Yeah, I teach mathematics. I teach mathematics. You can call me a math teacher. Right? I mean, it's okay. I teach mathematics alongside other science subject, like as much as you want it. So these are things that I do when the opportunity arise. All right. So I'm a lot of things, but majorly I'm just more of a philosopher. I look into the psychology of humans and I try to give explanation to things as much as I can. Um, Physically, I've had the community before, but this is the first time I'll be doing an online convergence like this. Um, I must confess, it's not easy, right? And why am I dressed up like this? I think there's an explanation because all my videos, there's no video where I look this corporate. I look good, by the way. If no one's gonna say it, I'm gonna say it to myself. Um, so I'm dressed up like this because I consider this my own job. I consider this my own office. I consider this my own place of work. So I want to believe most of us, if not all of us, are in our respective place of work and places of work. And here's my own office, right? Maybe not a physical, office, but yeah, here's my own office, and that is why it's seeming like this. And today is Monday, so let's give honor to the Monday work day. Okay, so over the years, I've picked topics, I've been talking on, discussing on, writing on, having conversations on a lot of topics. And for my first live session, I choose to talk about ego. I call it ego. I call it perception, and then the illusion of luck. All right. So these are three things I want to like put together in one within the time that I have, and I hope that you will listen. I hope that you will like it. Of course, you're gonna like it. Why not? So I have my jotted notes here on my system. I can't show you my system. I don't want to disrupt the thing. And then I have my notes here. See, in these notes, I've been putting things in this note for 4 years running now. I've been putting things in this note. I have a lot of strange topics in these notes. I have evil. I have the blame game. I have counterfactual thinking. I have a lot of topics, the unspoken rules of society. I have the human spirit, soul, and body. I have I have the nature of man, and I mean, you want to actually listen to me discuss the nature of man. I have love, yeah, love. I have the mind. I have the brain. I even have God. I have happiness. I have stuff over here that's those things that just get me thinking. I have the human mind, the categories of the human mind, feelings and thoughts, conscience. You know, I have death, even death. Yeah, consciousness, um, mindfulness, and all of these things. But for today, I have it, and I have many stuff over here too. But I'm using this one for today. So the topic of ego, perception, and reality, and the illusion of luck. Now, let me get straight to it. You know, I watch movies a lot, and I want to believe you watch movies. Maybe not a lot, but you watch movies as well. And when we watch movies, there's a thing about movies, right? Uh, they seem to paint pictures to be more beautiful than they should be, right? If you watch a movie, say, of a country like India, of a country like Nigeria, now you're not going to get a picture of the reality of Nigeria. You're going to get a picture of the reality they want you, whoever the directors are, whoever the producers are, they want you to see. Say, okay, Nigeria is this way. It is the way the movie paints it. That is how you're going to get it, right? It is where the movie you know, decide to script it, that is how you're going to get it, right? So when you watch movies, sometimes you're like, oh, I wish I was there. You know, we used to watch Korean movies a lot back then. Me, I used to watch Korean movies a lot. And there's an element of perfection to Korea. Anytime you watch South Korea and the guys and the ladies and the streets and the whole thing about the aura of South Korea, it just gives perfection. It just feels like, oh my god, I want to go to South Korea real bad. I mean, they influenced us so much that some of us, not I'm not included, some of us actually even went as far as learning their language because why not look at Korea on TV, look at Korea on my screen? Isn't this like paradise on earth? Isn't this like heaven on earth? No, it has everything. It has all the elements of perfection, and you're just imagining it. You're fantasizing it. It looks so good, and that is because ordinary places and moments, they often seem more beautiful on screen. Those places are ordinary places, but when they come on screen, they seem more beautiful. Now, let me tell you this: just like you are watching me right now, see what I'm putting on. See me right now. It feels really coordinated. It feels really organized, right? But this is not exactly who I am, right? After this session, I'm gonna pull this clothes and I'm gonna like put on my ordinary clothes, right? I'm not saying that I'm ordinary. I'm just saying that ordinary things sometimes they just appear extraordinary when they get on screen, right? When they get on screen, you don't get the feeling that these things are uh, they have any flaws or these things have any loopholes or these things have any mistakes. You just think, seeing these things, you just think, um, I mean, it's just beautiful. It's just, unnaturally beautiful, kind of. Now, why does that happen? This happens because we only see the visual frame and we don't see the full reality, right? We only get to see what we are shown, right? We only get to see what we are shown. Sorry, excuse me. Let me we only get to see what we are shown, and the visual frame, what they want you to see, that is what you see. You don't get to see the full reality. That is why ordinary places appear extraordinary on screen. You go through your social media, your Instagram, TikTok, especially TikTok. No, 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 especially Instagram. Instagram is more of a lifestyle app, right? Lifestyle social media app where people bring their best. People bring their best, not their that is not their everyday lifestyle, but they bring the best of their lifestyles. Someone just got a car and they just they bring it up, the best of their looks. They make sure they take pictures and they bring it on Instagram. They just have a way of making things look so free of error, right? They have a way of making things look free of any stain, stainless, right? Because the camera is so good at hiding noise. Camera is so good at hiding distractions. Camera is so good at hiding flaws. You can set the scene. You can set the frame. You can just make it appear just the way you imagine it to be. And what we see on screen is someone else's imagination, right? That is the idea, that this is someone else's imagination. I think that is something that we should know, that someone else's imagination. It's not ours, right? It's not yours. You can always come up with your own imagination and then put it in a picture and put it on screen, and somebody else will look at it and say, "Oh wow, I love that. I love that. I love that." Right? So they are selective. They are selective. They are filtered. They filter up that the perception that you are looking at on your screen. They filter it, it becomes filtered, it becomes really selective, and then as a result of that, it alters the your experience of reality, right? What you know, the reality you know, all of a sudden you don't recognize it anymore. No be the same Nigeria where we gather dey. No be the same Lagos where I go last time. Wetin be this? What side of Lagos it is? What part of Lagos it is? There are different sides, but they just show you the bad sides. That is that. Now let's talk about ego, the nature of ego. You know why I like YouTube live like this, right? I don't get to do cut and join when I'm editing videos. Editing videos can be a pain. It's not easy. I don't know. It's not easy to edit videos. You spend hours cutting and trimming and adding sound and adding transitions and doing all of that just to break. But this, I can make my mistakes, right? I can make my mistakes. I'm not gonna alter your perspective. I'm not gonna try and be perfect. I'll just be myself, and that's I'm being myself right now. All right, let's get on to it. Um, let's talk about ego. The perception of ego. You know what the ego does? I believe we all know what ego is. What the ego does is the ego acts as a separator. The ego acts as a differentiator. It's the one that differentiates, it differentiates what we are from what we are supposed to be or what we expect ourselves to be, right? Um, what it does is it highlights what we lack or what we think we lack, and then it highlights it. It does not, what it does is it elevates what we lack, what we think we lack, and then what we have, like what we actually are, what you actually have, it brings it down, right? Now, we overlook what we have or who we are and enthrone this, like lift this up above what we actually are. Now, let me put it this way. This is this is what we lack, what we are not, who we are not, who you are not, right? Now, this is it. This is who you are. I'm going to use my left and my right, okay? So, this is who you are. Now, when ego comes in, ego says who you are is not enough. It brings it down. Who you are not, who you are supposed to be, it lifts it, it elevates it. All right. So that is saying there's a difference, right? It differentiates it. It differentiates it, saying that um, who you are is not enough. Brings it down. Who you are not, who you are supposed to be, that is what you should be focusing on. That is ego. So it functions as a separator. It functions as a separator. All right. Now, what the ego does is it constantly compares our situation with others. It constantly compares our situation with others and then focuses on differences. My hands are aching me. Let me bring it down. Now, ego will focus on the situation of others, the reality, what it perceives as the reality of others, and compares to your own reality, right? And it compares to your own reality. That is where the separation happens. That is where the differentiation happens, right? Now, ego is such a thing, man, because why in the first place would you even be looking at somebody else to rate yourself before you can rate yourself? Why in the first place do you need to consider somebody else's reality to agree with your own, to say I'm happy with myself or I'm okay with myself? That is what ego does. Ego is a lot. Ego is a lot. So what ego does is it thrives on pointing out differences. Yeah, it points out differences. You get dissatisfied, you get disconnected with yourself, you get disenchanted, you're not happy with yourself. You're not happy with yourself. You are dissatisfied. There's no way. You are really happy. Sometimes you're not even happy in your own body. Ah, I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that person's physique, stature. And ego says that stature is the best stature for you. And then you have your own stature. You have your own stature, which is your own stature. And then it makes you dislike your own stature and buy into someone else's stature and say that person's stature should be your own stature. You now get dissatisfied with your own stature and say, I'm too slim. I'm a slim guy. And I see, bulky guys all the time. I mean, my age and even older or younger, in fact, younger. And I see them all the time. I'm like, oh, really? And something inside of me wants to say, that is exactly how you should look. And then I tell them, what do you mean? That I am what they should look like. You don't tell me what I should look like. I tell myself what I should look like. And I think the way I look, I don't think I know. What I look like is how I'm supposed to look like. What they look like is what they are supposed to look like. We can't all be the same. We can't all have it the same way. We can't, all be equal, and we can't, all be balanced, right? The world does not thrive on zero and one. It is not binary. We have to consider other options outside of the binary numbers, right? As you have zero, you have one, you got two, you got 10, you got 15, you got 20. You can't all be the same, we just have to be different. Now, but ego will not allow you to settle on that fact. It's going to argue it. Ego is it should be a lawyer it loves arguing. It loves arguing. So when we when we uh when we when we allow ego, sometimes we're not even the ones that allow ego. It operates on its own by its own will. Ego just comes and decide for you, right? So you're passing by, you see a beautiful family. A family is beautiful, and all of a sudden your own family is no longer beautiful. Or all of a sudden your own family is now less beautiful. Ego, right? Now, what you see in that family that makes you think, oh, what a beautiful family, is probably the best of that family at that point in time, right? All of a sudden you forget your own best too. And the only thing you remember in that moment is the worst things that have happened to you, to your family. And you think, this is my family, my terrible family, oh my God, my family is a pain. I don't even know what kind of family I belong in. But, chill, chill, chill. What you're doing is you're allowing ego to dictate for you. You're allowing ego to dictate for you. So it will separate your family from their family. And not only that, it's going to now lift their family. And instead of leaving your own family the same way it will not even sink it deep and say, go down, go down. Your family is not even at this level. This is the level your family. What is it? I mean, come on. We are not that bad. Come on, I'm not that bad. You don't get to appreciate who you are anymore. You don't get to appreciate what you are anymore. So that is what ego does. Now follow me. Um, and like I said again, ego constantly compares, constantly compares, constantly compares. The comparison is constant. Every time you see something better, every time you see someone better, every time you see something you should have, or you think you deserve, or you think should be yours, and even though you have your own version of that thing, it's not enough for you, it's not sufficient for you. Now I say it to you now. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. All right. It's ego, man. Now let's give ego a name. Let's say Mr. Ego. Now we're dealing with Mr. Ego here. Mr. Ego will tell you that, bro, I don't like the color of your teeth. Look at that person's teeth color. So white. And now what do? It sets you on a race to start looking for whitening. What can whiten your teeth? Now you go around and start looking for what can I use to flush my teeth? What can I use to, because look at that person's perfect dental dentition. Can you imagine the everything is so perfect, everything is so beautiful. And then you're not gonna look for, I mean, it's okay to do whatever you want to do, but I'm telling you, sometimes these things are not necessary. Sometimes these things are absolutely forced. You don't need to do them. Don't you think you are okay? I mean, you know, if you're not careful, it gets us on a very terrible pedestal, meaning we can actually remain, you know, in that battle, in that strive, in that struggle for a very, very long time. Some people do it for years, they fight the battle for years because not everything can be altered, not everything can be changed. Now imagine I am somebody with K leg, right? Of course I I admire other people with straight legs, right? Admire other people with straight legs. Now, ego will see like 1,000 people in a day with straight legs. At what point? At what point are you going to? At what point are you going to admit that this is your own reality? Let me take water. So, at what point are you going to settle for your own reality and say, okay, this is my own reality. I can't compare myself to another person. So I like to just shut up ego and just say, you know what, ego, I'm not gonna allow you speak to me today. Not today, not tomorrow, not next tomorrow, not at all, man. I think you're done. Now you can leave. You can take your leave. You're done. Because what do you mean that you can differentiate this? You know what ego does again? Ego says, I don't have this, but they do. Hmm. It's a shame, such a shame that I don't have this thing and I wish I had it, but they do. So this comparison now begin of well that I said dissatisfaction, if you like call it insufficiency, if you like call it um, envy, the worst of it all is self-pity. Oh, self pity is so terrible. Self pity is so terrible. Do you know why? Do you know something? Something that I've found out is that a lot of people, my mic is still working. I don't even know if my mic is working. A lot of people, they engage in, self pity a lot. And what they do is that they hate themselves for as long as they see anything that ego has told them is the better version of themselves or whatever it is. Now, I was making an example of somebody with Caleb. Now, can you imagine that people can actually live with the self pity of the fact that their legs are not straight, and they see straight legged people. I mean, every day now, every day of their lives, even their family members, the people that they sleep on the same bed together, they have straight legs. Well, here you are. I pity myself. You know, can you imagine short people? We're in a society where short people begin to feel less of themselves. I've met a lot of short people. And what exactly is a short person? I still don't get it. The fact that English gives us a definition for short, and then we begin to apply all these things to ourselves and say, I'm short, I'm short, I'm short. Bro, you are you, you are you, you are you. You're not short. I mean, come on, bro, because we can't all be the same height. I can say I'm tall, and then I meet somebody who is way taller, and I have to like, bros, good afternoon. That is the same me that I can look at somebody and say, what's up? Good afternoon. Now I'm looking down at someone and then I'm looking up to another person. It's a crazy world, right? Would I call myself short? I don't think so. I won't call myself short. And I won't call myself tall because when I meet tall people, I like to humble myself and say, hey, you are the champion of some people. But now you have seen someone, short people in our own society, they live in self-pity because they feel like I don't have this height. Why does this guy deserve that height? This is the kind of height that I'm supposed to have. This is the kind of person that I'm supposed to be, but I'm not that person. I'm supposed to be fair, but I'm not fair. What do? I go to buy a bleaching cream or bleaching soap or whatever thing I can do. I'm not airy, but I need to be airy. I grew up. I'm not airy, right? Um, Let me try something else. No, hold on. I want to try something. Let's see if it's gonna work. So, you now begin to look at others and say, no, that should have been me, or that person is having it better than me. So you are not sufficient within yourself. So you begin to like live in self pity. And you know, the danger of living in self pity is that the danger of living in self pity is that anything that comes to you, you think people are pitying you. That is why they are doing it for you. You feel like people are cheating you when something does not come your way. You begin to feel like, you begin to feel like the best cannot come to you unless somebody gives you that best with pity. And that's a terrible way to live. People live like that, like for the rest of their lives. I mean, how do you live that way? You know, people rush to the gym. As good as the gym is, people rush to the gym because I need this kind of body. If I don't get that kind of body, in fact, it's going to be so terrible. I'm not going to like it. I didn't have the initiative to live in my own body, right? So people go about seeking for what others have, and that is the effect of ego. And let's continue. Um, I want to try and see if I can join.
The 12-day war between Israel and Iran, which
No, please, I'm not interested. What do we have here? Okay, yeah. Oh no, 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 no. Come on. All right. Just a
global
minute.
AI market is projected to
Uh, okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, like I was saying, ego will tell you, I don't have this. They do. I am not this. They are. We are not. I am not there. Yeah, they are there. Right now, you know what the effect of this is? It now leads us to believe that our happiness is dependent on having what others have. How can you depend your happiness on having what others have? And we get there, but it now tells you that the people that have it, they are so happy. How can you tell? You know, when you see them on screen, you see them in public. You know, I have a theory. I'm still working on it. I've not perfected it. I think we are all actors. We are good. Everybody's an actor. Maybe not the professional, I know actors, but we are all actors because we like to portray a side of us that's going to leave an impression on people, just what the exact impression we want them to, to have, right? I've watched movies where I struggle with separating the character from the person. For example, anywhere I see Eddie Redmayne now, I think this guy is an assassin. This guy is a jackal. This guy is an assassin, and anywhere you see him, you have to fear him. Anywhere I see um, Schofield, what's his name now? Michael Schofield, Prison Break. I think this guy's a genius, right? Even if I see him in other movies, I'm still like, nah, that's that genius. There's nothing you want to tell me. This guy's a genius. He was a genius in that movie. He's still a genius in real life, right? In real time. So we struggle to separate the person from the character. All of us, we are all actors and we are playing a role, playing a character. Now, uh, just a few seconds. Okay. So we are all playing a role. We are all playing a particular character where um, we just show others what we want them to see. We show others what we want them to see. Okay, I haven't said enough on ego, or maybe not enough. You understand where the struggle, the mind struggle is coming from. Now, the mind struggle is a function of ego. That you see a big house, and a big house is always nice. It's always nice to have a big house. I want to have a big house, maybe not so big. I just love big compounds. I love big compounds with trees. My only fear is snakes. That's my only fear. Anything aside from snakes. I love trees. I love to have a serene compound, a compound where, you know, like it's just amazing with greens. You can just, greens overlooking, from where, I mean, the journey from the gate to the to the house is like some 2 minutes by no, just a minute. But I just love big compounds, right? And just modest house, modest buildings. I like dark rooms and all of that. So, but that's not bad. Don't worry about that. So, but you need to believe that your happiness is not dependent on what others have. Anytime you find yourself believing that your happiness is dependent on what others have, that is ego speaking to you. Now, you know what? Another thing that ego does is ego now labels what others have. That thing that others have that you don't, labels it as privilege. Can you imagine? Privilege. It comes from a ritual. It's privileged. But we forget something. What we call privilege is not defined. The definition of privilege is not in something that somebody has that you don't have. When we talk of privilege, it is relative, quite dependent. What you consider as deep privilege is not exactly is not exactly is not exactly you know is not exactly what you don't have that somebody has, and say that person is privileged to have it. How I wish, I was one with that body. We ask everything. I am, and you think maybe it should have been me instead of them. They are just privileged to have it. But you know what privilege does? Privilege exists. Privilege exists in nature. Privilege exists in health. Privilege exists in peace. Privilege exists in the universe, in the atmosphere, in the environment, in companionship, in relationship. Privilege exists in abilities. Privilege exists in thinking in the mind. Privilege exists everywhere. Privilege exists everywhere. All are privileges. All are privileges. All are privileges, right? All are privileges, right? Okay. So the ego now ignores the privileges that we already have. We don't see them anymore. All of a sudden, you don't appreciate good health anymore. All of a sudden, you don't appreciate sound mind anymore. All of a sudden, you don't appreciate good thinking capacity anymore. All of a sudden, you don't appreciate family anymore. All of a sudden, you don't appreciate the beauty of nature anymore. All of a sudden, you don't appreciate the fact that you are you. I mean, you're not even seeing you as you in the first place. How can you even appreciate you as you? That's going to be very difficult. So it ignores the privileges that we already have and then focuses on those that we don't. It fixates on those that we don't, the privileges that we do not have. So ego now finds excuses in the privileges of others just to justify our unhappiness. If somebody asks you, why are you unhappy? It still boils down to one thing. I know one thing for sure, that it boils down to one thing that somebody has that you don't have. Uh, is there a way to turn on the caption? Okay, yes. So you can turn on the caption just in case you. I want to believe I'm audible enough. Unavailable. Oh wow, sorry. Oh, I need to. Okay. So let's go back to our discussion. So if there's an explanation to why you are unhappy, ego gives you that explanation, that excuse, the privileges of others. You have one eye on what others have. You close your instead of you to have eye on your own what you have, it closes the eye completely on what you have. So it opens the other eye on what others have. So it now makes you sad. I don't have a first class, but they do. They are privileged to have a first class. I'm sad. I'm not happy. I wish I had the first class. I wish somebody can just, I wish we could swap our certificates. That's just, I wish we could swap our life. I wish I could. I wish I was living your life. Don't wish to live somebody else's life. Don't wish to live somebody else's life. You are not what you think you are. It is your ego telling you you are what you are thinking you are that is making you not happy with yourself, that is making you inconvenient or uncomfortable with yourself, that is making you dissatisfied with yourself, that is making you live in self pity, making you disconnected with your reality. So it now creates a false belief. I call it the trap of comparison. The trap of comparison. The trap of comparison. If I had what they have, I'd be happy. Oh, if I had what they what if I had what they have, I'll, I'll be really, really happy. I would be very happy. I remember that there are times there are times that I've had that. I like to like I don't know, I'll just be like, eyeing something, I'll just be like longing for something. Like, yeah, I wish I could have this thing. Hmm. When I get there, when I get there, I will have it. And eventually I will get there. And then, my the thought my idea was that if when I get there and I have it, I'll be perfectly happy. And eventually, when I get to have it, I don't, I don't end up being really, really happy. I just feel like, oh, it's just okay. I just have it. Okay, fine. Nice. Okay, it's fine, fine, fine. I have it. But when I didn't have it, I felt that is what is going to complete my happiness, like a piece in a puzzle. Like that's the last thing I need in this life to ensure my happiness. Okay, let's bring what you need. That thing, that last thing that you need in this life to ensure happiness. Let's bring it. Let's see if you're gonna be happy. I'm not married. A wife, a husband is the only thing I need in this life that's gonna guarantee my happiness. Okay, let's get you married. You get married. Oh, a child is the only thing in this life that is going to make me very happy. Oh, let's give you one. Oh, you get a child. You get two. You can get three all I want. I mean, all I care. You get three children, you get two children, you get one child. What? Okay, you get one. Two children they are going to perfect my happiness right now. Okay, get another one. You get two. Ah, I need to surround my table with children. I need like one, two, three, four, five. Go ahead, give birth to five children. Are you still happy? Oh, now the burden of taking care of these five children. In fact, it is not easy. Imagine having to tell this one to go to school, having to prepare this one to go to school, having to wake up very early as 4 a.m. to to make food, to prepare them. No, you asked for five. You got five. Why are you complaining? If only I had house help like my neighbor, about two house helps. Ah, my life would be a better place. This world would be a better place to live. Okay, let's get to two ourselves. In fact, let's increase it to three. Okay, three is too much. Two. Ah, now your child is not doing well in school. Can a house help with that? No, house help cannot help with that. Even though they are there to help, they can't help with everything. So they can't help with that. And your child that is not doing well in school gives you another round of headache, and you think, oh, what is the solution to this? See, all I'm saying is that there's always something that will make you unhappy, right? But as long as you look to your side, the grass is greener. You look to your left, the grass is definitely greener. You look far ahead, the grass is greener. Sometimes, funnily enough, you look behind you and the grass is wasn't the way it was coming from. It wasn't as green. How is it now green like this? Like, see, see, life does not work that way. Ego is an offer. Ego is not it will not allow you to be satisfied with yourself. It will not allow you to be satisfied with yourself. It is good to work on yourself. Don't get me wrong, I do all the time. I work on myself. And I only work on myself and I like to settle my my motive, my intention. Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Is it because I've seen somebody better than me in that aspect? Is that why I want to push myself? Or I'm pushing myself because I just want to be a better version of myself? And not like because I don't want to I don't want to like I want to meet that person's, you know, I want to have what that person has. So that I won't be that person will not be as more will not be more privileged than come on, bro. Nobody is better. Nobody is better. Nobody is better. Ego is the one deceiving you. That ego, will deal with it today. So it gets you in the trap of comparison. Ego gets you in the trap of comparison. If I had what they have, I'll be happy. Can I tell you now that that belief is false? That belief is a lie. It's not true. That belief that if you have what somebody else does not have, that you think will complement you, that will suit you well, if eventually you have it, you will be very happy. Ah, nah, it doesn't work that way. That belief is not true. Because some of the most privileged people on earth, they are unhappy. If they were happy, they would be settling, they would settle, they would have plateaued, they would have reached their peak, their climax. They won't have to run for other things. The reason we run every day, the reason we walk every day, the reason we move every day, the reason we wake up to do things every day is because something in us says if you are inactive, if you're not doing things, you'd be unhappy, right? You're going to like be satisfied with yourself, right? A lot of things are going to begin to contradict one another. There's going to be like a lot of clashes in your mind, in your life. That is why you wake up, you get going, you get doing, you get going every day. And you see, people that have those privileges that you think they have, they're also waking up every day to get going. Why? Because they don't want to be in a situation where they would be unhappy. So, which means their happiness is not yet perfect. So, do you now want to say that they are absolutely happy? No, they are not absolutely happy. They are not absolutely happy. The earlier you realize this, the earlier you understand this, the earlier you begin to change your mindset. You begin to change your thinking system, right? You begin to think differently. And when you begin to think differently, oh, come on. Then let me say what is going on when you begin to think differently. So ego is a biased thing, very biased, very biased. Ego selectively ignores these realities, the reality that privileged people are not entirely happy. It ignores that reality, focuses only on what fits the narrative. I don't care. I don't care to know. There's a song, I'd rather be crying in a Bentley, all of that, all of that, all of that. I don't care to, if money is vanity, if this is, I don't care. I just bring it first. Bring it. Bring it. Bewa, bring it. When you bring it first, then we cannot deal with the situation later. But you see, what exactly do you want? Money or happiness? House or happiness? Result or happiness? You just want happiness, right? Now, I'm saying, and based on all of this now, evidently you can see that happiness is not dependent on what somebody else has that you do not have. In fact, happiness is actually dependent on what you are and what you have. You see, we need to probably just shift our attention from what I have and what I don't to what I am. Just what you are. That should be your focus. Don't focus too much on what you have because you can't have it all. You can have it all. But one thing that should not be missing from your cabinet, from your store, from your arsenal is your happiness. Eh? Don't let anything rob you of that. You wake up every morning, you are working on yourself, but you're still happy where you are. That's exactly how it should be. Ego goes as far as perpetuating misery. Ego reinforces separation and difference. Remember what I said is a separator, is a differentiator. Ego reinforces separation and difference, keeping us trapped in a cycle of comparison. Let me leave a message for a couple of people here. Keeping us trapped, keeping us trapped in a cycle of comparison. Like I said, the comparison is constant. The comparison is always, it happens all the time. We are always comparing ourselves. We are always comparing ourselves subconsciously, unconsciously. You just know that that shoe is better than yours. The reason you are thinking the shoe is nice, no doubt, the shoe is nice, elegant, gallant. But the fact that you don't just think, oh, I like that shoe, and it stops there. The fact that you want to think, my shoe, that shoe, my shoe, that shoe, there's a difference. That is ego, because ego is a differentiator. If anything you want to take from here now that I've said so far, always know and always remember that ego is a differentiator. Differentiator is a differentiator. It does the y dx. It's a differentiator. It's a differentiator. It's a separator. All right. Okay. So it now begins to blame external circumstances for internal unhappiness. This is it. The unhappiness we're talking about is internal because happiness is internal, right? When we talk of happiness, we talk of an inner feeling, right? That gets you um, excited about something. That is happiness, all right? So that happiness is internal, right? Now, ego now says the reason why your internal happiness is not present is because of an external missing piece. Can you see that it's not balanced? It now begins to blame a cloth that you don't have. That is why you are not happy. It begins to blame a degree that you don't have. That is why you're not happy. It begins to blame, um, say, a skin that you don't have. That is why you're not happy. Ha! begins to blame a watch that you don't have. That is why you're not happy. How now? The connection is not there. Subsequently, in my next video, I'm going to come with a board. I need to do some virtual, some graphical representation on the board. Yeah, I mean, I have to do some. Maybe I should get a board right now, but I don't think I have. Okay, maybe the next one, the next live, I'm going to be doing that. So it begins to connect inner feeling and now say the reason for the absence of inner feeling is the absence of an external. No, it shouldn't be. See, your happiness will come from inside because happiness is inside, right? Now it has to be a product of your thoughts. Like, what do you think about this? Right? Choose what will make you happy. Think about it, ruminate on it, settle on it, and make that your the basis of your happiness. That is it. Ego will destroy it. Ego will ruin it if you allow it. Ego will utterly ruin it if you allow it. All right. Now, let's see. So if you allow it, it will ruin it. Right. Now, this mindset prevents contentment and then fuels continual dissatisfaction, right? Continual dissatisfaction. There is nothing that you have today, even if you're happy with it, even if you're satisfied with it, you will see that it's just a matter of time before you begin to resent it, begin to not really like it. Nah, it's not enough anymore. All of a sudden, you want to change. All of a sudden, you want to exchange for the new. All of a sudden, you want to upgrade. All of a sudden, you want to. And all of these are good. I'm not saying that they are not good, right? You can swap your old version for your new version, but why are you doing it? That is the question that matters here. Why are you doing it? Why are you running? Why are you running? Why are you always on the move? Why? What is fueling that move? Right? What is fueling that move? What is fueling that move? What is making you think if I don't have this until I have it, my happiness will not be full. My happiness will not be there, and I'm not going to feel like myself. Hmm? So this mindset prevents contentment. We lack a lot of contentment. We lack contentment a lot. Now, next I'm going to talk about how to be free from the trap of ego. Now, I've touched on ego, I've touched on perception. Now, but we're not free from ego. Now, how to be free from ego is the next thing I want to talk about now. Freedom from ego's trap, because ego is a trap. Like, if you get it now so far, you realize that ego is a trap. Now, how does freedom comes? Or how does freedom come? Sorry. Freedom comes from recognizing commonality. Freedom comes from recognizing commonality, not difference. Recognizing commonality and not difference. Your true self. Now, if I want to simply define ego, I'll define ego as false self. False self. A reality that you create mentally because of or due to dissatisfaction, due to discontentment, right? So that's you that you make up in your mind. That's you that you build. That you think if everything that is missing are in place, this is who I would be. Now that you is what ego is. False self. The definition of false self. Now the opposite of ego is what I would call the true self. The opposite of ego is the true self. All right. So the true self sees what we have in common. It does not see what you have that I don't have. It doesn't see things that way. The way it interprets things is what you and I, what we have in common. That one thing that we have in common, shared commonality. That is what it sees. So it sees commonality. It doesn't see difference. It sees mutuality. It does not see separation. When it sees a rich man, it doesn't see the money he has and the money you don't have. It sees what the rich man has and that you also have. In fact, it doesn't even see what the rich man does not have that you have. I mean, that there's even a place of that, and which maybe to an extent is okay, but not very okay as well. But it sees what it sees what you have, and somebody that you perceive that you would have ordinarily normally perceived as privileged, what that person has, right? It brings it together and equates it. Ah, that is how to counter ego. You think that person is special, you begin to see yourself as special. Why? Because that person has some things that you also have. You want to ask me things like what? Hmm, I'll get there. True self. So, true self is not separation, it's connection. Um, uh, congruence, commonality, right? Mutuality. And that is love. Love is mutuality and not separation. The thing with it is that it cannot function outside of outside of you coming to a common ground, like a neutral ground, like an equilibrium point, right? Where you don't see the difference anymore. The difference is there, no doubt, but you're not focusing on the difference. You're focusing on what you share in common, and what you share in common becomes the basis of your own happiness. Tell me how you will not be happy. And you're not no longer insecure about yourself. You're no longer uncomfortable about yourself. You're no longer inconvenient about yourself. You are as much convenient with yourself because you don't focus anymore on things that are not there. You focus on things that are there. You will focus on things that are there and not the things that are not there. You will focus on the things that are there and not the things that are not there. Let me stop this. Yeah. So you know where AIDS comes from now. I can tell you where AIDS comes from. AIDS comes from when we view others as having what we lack and believing they don't deserve it. Ah, terrible, 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 terrible place to be. When you begin to think people have things and they're not deserving of it, and you should be the one to have that, then hatred creeps in, creeps in, creeps in. Hatred creeps in. The fact that you can never think that somebody has something and you think doesn't even deserve it. That should be me in that person's shoes. That should be me in that person's position. Hatred, even if you don't want to admit it, can you absolutely love someone who in your mind you are you are you are I want to say beefing. I don't I want to say beefing, but I'm tempted to say beefing, but I don't want to say beefing. In your mind, you are doing a comparison, you are doing a juxtaposing and saying, he's my friend, He's my colleague, but he has something that I don't have. Every day you wake up to see your colleague, your friend, that have something that you don't have. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's love? Do you think you can 100% love that person? Do you think you can 100% love that person? Is it because you have not been tested to a point that you can't say no? If somebody offers you a 1 billion naira now to sacrifice that person, would you not say, this person that have that has, and I'm sorry to use that word, and I'm sorry to play with your mind that way. I'm just saying that true love does not come in the face of, or in the on no, it doesn't come from the premise of comparison, saying that as a matter of fact that somebody has something that you don't have, right? There's no way you can maintain a healthy love life with that person. It affects relationships a lot. Hate will begin to arise, begin to emanate, begin to, you know, ooze, begin to ooze, it begins to ooze, it begins to ooze, it begins to ooze from inside you. You don't know when you begin to be, get really, really jealous and envious, right? You don't know when you begin to get really uncomfortable with that person around you. You don't know. See, ego goes very deep. It goes very deep. And I don't know, but ego goes way deeper than this thing that we are looking at. The way we are looking at it is not even like entirely. Why does it think, who does it think he is? And then the person comes, bro, what's up? How you doing now? How you doing now? Now leave. I deserve it too. In fact, you're just privileged. You came from a rich home. You came from a rich home. They give you allowance every week, every month. Us that they don't give allowance, you think you are better than us. And it's all false beliefs. At the end of the day, after all said and done, it's all false beliefs. Believing that others' privilege is the cause of our own unhappiness leads to bitterness. Believing that the privilege of others is the cause of our own unhappiness leads to bitterness. And you see, to an extent, ego will justify it. This hateful feeling, this despiteful feeling, this resentful feeling, right? Ego will justify it to an extent and say, I am right, oh, I am right to take my stand on this. But actually, this feeling is not good. This feeling is destructive. This feeling is damaging. This feeling can wreck a lot. And it gets people making a shipwreck of their lives. They can't control it anymore. But when you now focus on commonality instead of separation, instead of differentiation, you focus on mutuality. You know what happens? You now put yourself in a safe space to build, to construct. You see, I say that love is constructive. Love is constructive. You can live a fulfilled life when love in this. I'm talking of love in this context now, because from ego perspective now we have now entered into the territory of love and hatred. Now, I'm saying that love in this perspective, right, in this context, is building, constructing, fulfilling. You will never ever feel less about yourself for any reason anymore. But you're in a journey, you're on a journey, you're in a process. Yeah, you're in a process, right? But the process does not get you looking sideways. Who has something that I don't have? Who's got something that I deserve more than the person? Who is more privileged than me? I don't want to know. What do we share in common? I don't want to know. Do I have good health? I don't want to know. Do I have a sound mind? I don't want to know. Do I have healthy relationships? I don't want to know. Do I have a good, you know, am I even brilliant? I don't want to know. Am I intelligent? I don't want to know. It doesn't matter. The person is richer. As long as this person is richer, the person is more privileged. And I'm not happy. My heart is broken because somebody has something that I don't have. Oh, my heart is broken. I know it's breaking your heart. Your heart that is inside that you have. We have not seen our hearts before. Nobody has seen his heart before. Nobody has a picture of his heart, like the organ. Nobody has it. But guess what? It gets broken all the time. By what? External factors. Something that you cannot reach physically. Break it. Say, he has broken my heart. My heart is broken. Do you know what breaks heart? What we allow from the outside. The things that we allow from the outside, they are exactly what breaks heart. Nothing else breaks heart beyond things that we allow from the outside. The danger of false beliefs now. The believing that others' privilege or the privilege of others is the cause of our happiness leads to bitterness, envy, bitterness. It leads to bitterness. So, you know, I don't think I need to say it anymore again that you need to let go. You need to to let go of false self. At least one day, just try one day. Just live free of false self. It's good to admire people. It's good to admire people. But don't ever put yourself down or don't ever admire others at the detriment of your own self. Don't let yourself pay the price for the admiration of others. What they have that you are thinking that they have, that you are thinking is making them happy, is not making them happy. What do you do instead? Maybe you should just focus on what will make you happy and chase what makes you happy without connecting it, without routing it through somebody else's reality. Build your own reality and build your own happiness as much as you can. Later on, you'll find people or another set of people looking at you and they will not be in the shoe that you currently are right now. So you have other people looking up to you and say, oh wow, what a beautiful sister, what a beautiful guy, what a handsome guy, all of that stuff. What a I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish. You are wishing and you are wishing. Everybody's now wishing, wishing. Hmm. This way. So it requires letting go of comparisons. It requires letting go of comparisons, letting go of judgments and identity-based attachments. Identity-based attachments. It requires letting go of comparisons, judgments, and identity-based attachments. Oh my God, I'm missing my board. I should get a board beside me here. And some of these things, because I'm not sure the caption is on, I don't know why. I'll check. I'll look into it. But some of these things are they need to be said, like written out, written out. So false beliefs are like rocks in our pockets. Oh, what a nice analogy. Now, do you know why when you wear a trouser, and you pack a bunch of stones or rocks in your pockets? Do you know how it feels really heavy and it weighs down your trouser? Sometimes your belt will be dragging with your belt between your belt wants your trouser to stay up. The stones in your pocket want your trouser to go down. Guess what happens? The longer the stones stay, the longer and the heavier, because some of us we keep compiling stone upon stone, rock upon rock. We keep compiling these things, and we don't ever think that isn't this thing even too heavy for me to bear? Isn't this thing even too heavy for me to carry? Isn't this thing too heavy for me to to drag. So we begin to carry them unnecessarily, and they weigh us down. They weigh us down. So we cannot even run at the pace that we're supposed to run. We cannot even move at the pace that we are expected to move. We cannot even do things to the best of our capacity, to the best of our possibility. Things now become really difficult for us to do, or taxing, or really, really hard. Really, really, you know, we strive to do them because your pocket is too heavy. Release it, unload it. Don't release, unload it, offload it, offload your pockets. Grab the camera, grab the camera for a Lama Jackson edit. What's a Lama Jackson edit? Bro, come to India. Come to India. Ah, let's come to India. India. They said I should come to India. When am I gonna come to India? India? Well, let's see about that. But if you ask me where do I want to go, I want to visit some African countries. Then I'll move to Europe. Maybe from Europe I'll go to Asia. Then I can come to India. I want to visit Egypt, Kenya. I think I have on my list Egypt, Kenya, Rwanda. There are three countries I want to visit. Then I can look at Europe. I want to go to France. I like France. I want to go to Norway. You know, I want to go to Norway. Not necessarily UK. If anything would take me to UK to be Manchester United to watch my boys live in action. Hopefully we get to win that day. You know, I'm so used to not. You know, yeah, it is well. It is well with my club. But if anything take me to the UK to Manchester United, they through the thick and thin, I will stick with them, and then maybe some parts of Spain, you know, just to have a feel of what that place looks like. Then I'll come down to Asia, then I can come to India. I can honor this invite and come to India. So don't allow false beliefs to weigh you down. Don't believe anything that is not your reality. Your reality is your reality. The only thing you can do is to change it. Don't compare it with others in a way that it constitutes your happiness, your unhappiness rather. It constitutes your dissatisfaction, your discontentment. Don't let it be. Be grateful. Oh, I don't want to say that word because now I want to start sounding religious, but I don't want to sound religious. By the way, I love my look. I look stunning. I've not worn a tie in I don't know how long. I knotted a tie this morning. I don't even know how well I did because it's been so long I knotted a tie. But I feel like it's good. I feel like it's actually nice. I feel like it's not bad. Maybe I should take this thing outside. But I'm hearing noises outside. Okay, maybe when the noises reduce, I can take it outside. Okay, so uh, don't forget there are like rocks in our pockets. The truth about privilege and happiness, privilege and injustice exists, but they are not deciding factors in happiness. They are not deciding factors in happiness. There's no lies. Let's not deceive ourselves. A lot of people are more privileged. A lot of people are more privileged. People are in privileged places. People are in places that you can only dream of, right? Something funny is coming to my head now. Some people are born in wealth, right? like you said, like we know, hmm, if you are born in a certain part of Africa, in some nations that I will not mention, the it is settled that you can never become a Formula One driver. Not because if you qualified, but you can because there's no Formula One. Number one, there's no even Formula One. Number two, even if you not dream for being a Formula One driver, who is going to sponsor your dream? Where is the provision? Where is the arrangement? No arrangement, nothing. So you can never become a Formula One driver if you are, in fact, if you were born in Nigeria, right? But people that were born, say, in the USA, now they can be Formula One drivers. There's a reality, there's a chance that they can be Formula One drivers, right? Now, those are privileges. That's an example of a privilege. If you were born into a football family, say your father is a footballer, is a legend, now there are more chances of you ending up becoming a footballer. But if you want to start from scratch in other parts of the world, you don't have football in your bloodline. Now that's going to be a bit more difficult. It's not impossible, but it's going to be a bit more difficult. Now that's another example of privilege. If say um, you 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 know you were given good education, right? Good education, you were sponsored through the primary, the everything. Now but then you also have someone who was not even privileged to who wasn't even privileged to have any of that. That's a privilege that you have. That's a privilege that somebody does not have, right? So it all depends. It's in levels and all of that. So privilege and sometimes it's just life being unfair and injustice. We always say life is not fair. Just like they say, the rich keeps getting richer, the poor gets keeps getting poorer. And sometimes it is true, not always. You can break out of it and you can break it and changes. As much as these things exist and they are true, they are real, they are not deciding factors for happiness or unhappiness. They are not things that are going to decide your happiness. um Even with real injustices, right? Even with the fact that privileges are real, right? Happiness is found, in perspective and not in possession. Happiness is found in perspective and not in possession. Happiness is found in perspective and not in possession. Happiness is found in perspective and not in possession. Happiness is found in perspective and not in possession. So I say we all share basic life privileges. All of us are privileged. You don't understand? All of us are privileged. The only person that is not privileged is the person that is not alive. And even they have had their own share of privilege or privileges. So we are all privileged. We have life, we have reason, we have connection, we have even existence itself. The very fact that you are existing is a privilege. Because for as long as you exist, you can change anything, you can make anything work, you can bring anything out of nothing, right? So we are all privileged. But I understand that the pressure can be really pressurizing, and you don't want to see things from that angle, from that standpoint. But the truth remains that we are all privileged. We are all privileged people. Have you thought about the fact that there are billionaires struggling for life, struggling to stay alive? Now, that is not to mock them. By all means, with all due respect, that is not. I'm just saying that what if you look at things from that angle? You can also say, oh, I have life. That's a privilege. Okay, no problem. There are actually things that will come upon somebody in this life, and they will say, take the money in exchange for what I'm lacking. Because money will not satisfy all the time. Money will not always fulfill. Money is not the ultimate fulfilling, happiness deciding factor. Money is not the ultimate um, fulfilling factor, fulfillment factor. So there are other things that are going to determine fulfillment. There are other things that are going to determine this. Is not. So I know that sometimes when we talk of privilege, we only talk of money, we only think of money, we only think of this, we only think of that. Access is a privilege. Connection is a privilege. The brain is a privilege. People are used to saying when they are in deep shit, when they are in deep problems, in deep troubles, when they are in the woods. They say stuff like, nothing is working. In fact, I have tried and tried and tried. See, sir, let me say that the fact that your mouth is working, your eyes are working, your ears are working, your nose is working, your hands are working, your your neck is working, right? Things are working. Now build upon that. Let that be the foundation. Let that be the platform on which you build other things. Don't ignore everything else that is working so that you can suit your narrative of that nothing is working. And that is not you. Ego, I see you. I see you. That is the work of ego. So with people that you think they are more privileged, we share basic, what's it called now? Life privileges. Yes, we share them. Now let's talk about the path to real freedom. Freedom is recognizing that lack is an illusion. Freedom is recognizing that lack is an illusion created by ego. When you say you lack, maybe you don't really lack it. Ego makes you think because you have seen somebody that. See, ah, how do I explain this now? If you have not seen somebody that has a golden bottle, if you have not seen somebody with a golden bottle before, let's assume you have not seen somebody with a golden bottle. There is no way you will desire a golden bottle. There is no way your earnest desire now is going to be a golden bottle because you have not seen it anywhere. You have not even imagined it. Sometimes our imagination, I think most times actually, our imagination is just pictures that we paint out of things that our eyes have captured or that we have seen somewhere or that we have heard of somewhere. If nothing has ever gone through the space of these years, or your eyes have not seen them, or you have not even come across them, to imagine them becomes really difficult. All right. So what ego does now is to create illusion that what you lack what you lack is why you are not happy. So the way you can be free, right, is to understand that you don't really lack what you lack. It is ego that has seen somebody else have what you say you don't have, that you say you lack, and then constitute unhappiness and dissatisfaction and discontentment in you. Before the iPhone 14 or 15, I don't even know which one. Now, before that, uh, let's say the highest, I think it's 16. I don't know. I'm not up to date. Let's just say 16 or 16 Pro or whatever. Now, that's 16 Pro. Nobody is going to be desiring an iPhone 18 because iPhone 18 does not even exist, right? The only reason why somebody will be on 14 or 15 or 12 or 13 and they will be desiring a 16 is because 16 exists, right? Now, 14 on its own or 13 on its own, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing bad in it. There's nothing, I mean, it's a functional phone that does its job. The reason you bought it is still giving you that solution. Sometimes we buy things, um, sometimes we buy things to create solutions, right? It's still giving you the solution. The fact that it's still giving you the solution means that you don't really need an upgrade. Now, the only reason you feel now uncomfortable or inconvenient with it now is because there is an upgrade that exists. Now, ego will now look at that upgrade and eye it and say, wow, what a beautiful phone. It now makes your phone look really ugly. What a sharp camera. All of a sudden your own camera is no longer sharp. It was the same you that was saying I bought this phone for its camera. I love the camera of this phone. So now all of a sudden, that same phone is not giving you the same camera quality again. Even though it's still giving you the same camera quality, you begin to look less. You begin to look down on it. You begin to undervalue it now. So freedom is recognizing that this is what ego keeps adding to you and then removing what doesn't belong. What reflects your true self is love, not hate, not ego. Love reflects who you are and appreciates who you are for who you are. Love lacks nothing and sees no separation between me and somebody that is in a better place, that I feel is in a better place. There's no difference. And even before I came across this study, even before I made this study, I have always thought myself that I don't think anybody is better than me. Honestly speaking, and this is what I will tell you every time, any day. I've been saying this thing for years, not any for any particular reason. I'm probably not where I want to be, but even in my current state, there's no human alive that is better than me. You know why? We share things in common. We share, and that thing that we share in common is why I feel, or those things that we share in common is why I feel nobody is better than me. So why would I not believe in myself? Why would I not be happy with myself? Why would I not wake up in the morning, look at myself, look in the mirror, and the man in the mirror is getting me really excited, getting me really hyped, getting me really pumped? Why not? So I'm wrapping up now. You have to lay down hate, you have to lay down false identities, you have to lay down ego's burdens, you know, you have to let go of harmful thoughts, patterns, and comparisons. You have to embrace love, mutuality, and shared human experience. Let me go again. You have to lay down hate, you have to lay down identities, you have to lay down ego's burdens, you have to let go of harmful thoughts, patterns, and comparisons. You have to embrace love, you have to embrace mutuality, you have to embrace shared human experience. When you see other people, don't look at what they don't have that you have or what you don't have that they have. Look at what makes you common. Look at the common factor. That is what you should look at next time. That is how you can be free from the bondage of ego, from the shackles of ego. All right. I say if you break free from ego, you won't have the drive to aim for something higher than yourself. So why should I break out of it? Well, interesting. You won't have the drive to aim for something higher than yourself. Why should you break out of it? Okay, the first thing is that you need to understand that ego constitutes that is the primary reason for unhappiness. And I don't think you want to live this life unhappy. There should not be a day that, because life is not forever, right? So for as much as you have the time that you are given the privilege to live, eh, be happy while doing it. Now, ego will ensure that is not the case. Ego will ensure you don't get to be happy while you live. So that is one reason why you should let go of ego. Now, the drive to aim for something higher can come from within you, not necessarily through ego. You can summon it, right? You can invoke it and say, I just want a better thing, not because I've seen it somewhere, not because somebody beside me is using it. I just want it. It's just you who wants it. And even if you don't have it, there's no issue, there's no big deal, there's no problem, no wahala, no problemas, bad and moi. So it becomes just um if as we are going to compare, probably should compare with yourself of last year or with yourself of 2 years ago, with yourself of 5 years ago, and think, okay, what can I change to elevate myself of 2 years ago? Not because of what somebody said or what you've seen somebody have or what you've seen somebody do. Those things should inspire you, but not get you into the web of comparison, or not to get you into the web of dissatisfaction with yourself. Don't be You will live a painful life if you are dissatisfied with yourself. Imagine short people that I made example. Imagine short people living, dissatisfied with themselves. How long will they live for? Is there any chance that they're going to grow any taller? So how long would they, live with that feeling for? It's going to remain. I mean, I have small body, I have small this, I have small this. I'm not happy. See, that is why you need that to understand that your happiness is internal, and then your drive. Oh, okay. I think I'm back. So your happiness should come from your inside. So you will have the drive to aim for something higher than yourself when you probably just, you know, it's between you and you, and not you and somebody else. So you don't look at others and say, I wish I had that. Look at yourself and say, oh, this is what I have, and this is me, and it's fine. If it's something you can change, change it, not because somebody has something better. The motive is key. The intention is the key point here, right? If the intention is right, go ahead. If the intention is not right, and the way to know that the intention is not right is when it comes from you juxtaposing with someone else, that's comparing with someone else. So I want to believe that is answered. Now let me just summarize. Let me read. I have a summary here. Actually, I have this thing in slides. I have it in slides. I have about ten slides. Yeah, 10. I think slide 1 to 10, if I'm right. So I have it broken down in slides. But let me just read the summary. Now, we often find beauty in ordinary scenes when viewed through a screen because the screen filters reality away, showing only a selective, idealized frame. In real life, we experience the noise, the struggles, the distractions that the camera leaves out. This selective perception mirrors how the ego or false self operates in our lives. The ego is a separator, a differentiator, a divider, like I said. It highlights differences, notices what we lack, and compares our lives to others. It convinces us that happiness comes from what we don't have, but see others enjoying. This mindset traps us in judgment. We begin to judge, we begin to judge, find yourself judging. It traps us in envy. It traps us in dissatisfaction, constantly telling us, I lack this because they have it. While privilege is real, whether it's good health, supportive friends, I didn't even get to mention that, supportive friends, or